All right, just wanted to take you through a quick demo today of our All Muscle Inc. order processing dashboard, glass tables, and then our underlying infrastructure that's supporting that. So here at All Muscle Inc., we are very passionate about getting our orders to our customers and doing that in a quick and timely manner. So what we have today is actually a glass table built using Splunk's BSI, or Business Service Insights. And what we have is the value of our open orders, as well as quite a bit of business order submissions and processes built there, and the timing that it takes for those processes to complete. So we have everything from the order submission all the way going through the order process, the invoice creation, the timing that it takes to do that, all the way down to the order picking, packing, and shipping, so that we can have a KPI around how much time is spent in the warehouse of that process as well. Now, to make this run, we use SAP as the underlying ERP for that. So obviously we want to be mindful of the health score of that ERP, and we have that right here in the glass table. Now, we will dive into that a bit later, but let's now focus on new order acquisition. Just like every other new company that starts up, we want to focus on new customers and see where those orders are coming from, so that we can redirect our marketing efforts, our supply chain efforts, and our warehouse efforts to that area to make the best use of our investments in our company and back to our customers. Now, again, with SAP being our underlying ERP, where everything in our business happens, we want to keep track of the health of that. So not only are we going to be looking at it from an error process or an underlying database process, but we're also going to be looking at it from a business process of making sure that we can see the orders as they move through our AMI load balancer to our servers, to our firewall, and to our warehouse, and make sure that all of those interconnections are working well and healthy together so that our customers can get our products. Now, let's go ahead and dive into this, and it's as simple as clicking right into the SAP System Health, where we're actually going to be diving into the Service Analyzer for this. For this specific demo and area today, we're actually only pulling down a few small services, but as you can see, this can go quite in depth for us. However, for today, we're looking at just the SAP part specifically, as well as some of the IT shared services that we'll dive into a bit later. Now, at the top of this, you can see All Muscle Incorporated is the head of this process, but we have a lot of dependencies underneath that, all the way from order fulfillment, which then dives down into the ERP itself. Now, the ERP is made up of multiple different areas consisting of the instance, the integration, the database, the central instance, as well as some other security and setup portions of that. Now, specifically within the instance, we want to take a look at the CPU. Now, what's really cool about the CPU is that it is all pre-configured using the SI for SAP content pack. So this is not something that is going to be a huge, intense process to do. It all comes pre-configured and ready to go for you. So we're going to take a look at the CPU utilization of this, and we can take a look at this Linux host and this entity, and we'll dive right into that as well, into an infrastructure overview. Now, with this infrastructure overview, we're able to grab very granular metrics off of this system, all the way from CPU system to disk free to memory used, so that we're able to get a holistic view of this host and see what's going on. Now, while it is extremely granular, it also flows well together. So we can actually dive into the navigation suggestions here and go to the Splunk for Infrastructure Monitoring tool, where we can see where the data is actually collected from. So from here, we're actually going to pull down the Linux host that is making up the SAP instance, and we can see all the data that's coming in real time. And what's great about this is that no matter what your specific role is within AMI or your company, you're actually able to see the raw data here. So whether you're an IT practitioner trying to make sense of what this box is doing and whether or not it's healthy in relation to your department within IT, you can do that. Or if you're part of a business analytics team, ensuring that SAP is healthy and happy so that you can make strategic decisions for AMI to go forward, you can do all of that here with one single piece of data, however many lenses you want to put through that to have a healthier business process. Now we have more we'd like to dive into under the Service Analyzer, so we'll go ahead and move back to that and I'll show you more in a second. Now that we're back at the Service Analyzer, we want to take a look at some of the shared services that AMI is built on. Like many other enterprises, we are comprised of many different shared services, such as VMware, shared storage, and mail services as well. We're going to take a look into the VMware ESXi portion, as we can see a lot of familiar KPIs out of here. We're going to dive quickly into the network utilization, and we can actually break this out by entity and dive directly into the infrastructure overview. Now what's cool about this is that this is actually a pre-configured component for VMware, and we can actually see related entities and the relationships here and how they make a cohesive environment for your overall VMware shared service. So it's pretty exciting to see how all these different metrics and entities can combine together and tell a whole story back to your customer. In the meantime, we're going to jump back over to the glass table and take a look over there. All right, we are now back at the glass table for the AMI order processing. And as you can tell, it looks like we might have an issue with the system. We've seen the SAP system health take an overall dip down to 50, as well as it looks like our ERP app servers have changed from green to yellow. It looks like we have a spike in the IDOC errors as well. So I think we might have an idea of what we need to take a look at. I'm going to go ahead and click into the SAP system health, and let's go ahead and take a look at the Service Analyzer there and see what we can find out. So again, we've come back to the Service Analyzer for the SAP portion of this, and we're going to take an overall look at the health here. And it appears like it's coming down to the iDocs portion here. We have a little alert. It is yellow as well. And let's go ahead and click into this and see what we can come up with. Now, these KPIs that are going red have an entity based upon it. So let's go ahead and dive into that entity and see what's going on with it there. Now, within this entity, this is actually built pre-configured as the SI for SAP. Content pack. So we're able to actually quickly see all of these IDOC statuses right out of the box, which is really easy for our customers to be able to find what's going on here. Now we can see everything from different IDOC details down to the identifications or the receiver port. As we scroll further down, we can take a look at IDOC creation time, as well as a few other parts here of EDI partner by time, some doc nums by IDOC status, IDOC direction, direction by time, and a few other instances there. Now, while this is all really good information, we do want to dive a deep bit further in. And an easy way to do that is to hop on over here to the flow and take a look at the deep dive here. Now, as the deep dive loads, we're actually able to see plenty of lanes of processes here that are happening. And as we see at the bottom, it looks like right at the same time that bad stuff happened, we had a snow change request pop in. So let's go ahead and take a look at this event here, and we can see the data of what's going on underneath. Now within here, it looks like we do have Clark Kent, who requested this change, wanted to update a firewall ACL to block listed CIDR block. It was closed by Clark Kent. Let's see if we could find a change number there. Yeah, let's go ahead and grab that. And it looks like it was created by Bruce Wayne and assigned to Clark Kent. So it looks like we need to go chat with those folks as well. So from here, obviously with the amount of errors that we have and disruption, we need to go ahead and take a look at an episode review overall and see what's happened there. Now the episode review was generated based upon the KPIs that were broken, and we can see it here unassigned and critical. So let's go ahead and take a dive here, and we can see what's going on here. Yep, we've got all the KPIs and impacted services that are connected to this. So let's go ahead and create a ServiceNow incident off of this, and we can go ahead and kick off an idle process there. So our state, we're going to mark that as critical. We'll put this as a biz item. Let's go ahead and say the urgency is urgent, and let's go ahead and mark this as a P1 and go ahead and get everybody on the field. Now, with this description, let's go ahead and put the change number in there as well. and we can go ahead and get this critical incident fired off. Now what's great about this is now we've been able to kick off a new process with all of the metadata around this incident and get that to our incident response team so that they can more quickly identify how to fix this problem. So after reaching out to Clark Kent, we've asked him to go ahead and revert back that firewall change, and we're going to see how that affected the SAP ERP system health and see if we can get that score back to 100. So I'm going to just mark this as in progress and then go hop on over to the glass table and take a look there. It looks like it's still at 30% right now, but let's see, give it a few seconds and see if we can get that back up to 100. Okay, taking a look at the SAP system health, it looks like our score has jumped overall from 30 to 70%. So I think Clark is being a bit of a superhero today for us with our firewall and helping getting our system back on process and getting our businesses flowing right back through again. All right, and we can now see that the SAP system health is back to 100. Tying this into some of the business services, it looks like we are back to processing orders and getting those items picked, packed, and shipped right out the door. As you can see, we were able to very quickly and easily tie a shared service back to the business flow process. So we were able to see that when business stopped, we could tie that quickly to a shared service, identify where that is, quickly get that identified, remediated, and back to closing and packing and shipping orders. Thanks for your time today.